Hey, let's go ahead and get this tarp cut up. Stick around for it. Back to it today. We got to get the ceiling up. I got to get these lights down over in this end because I've been hemming and hawing how I wanted to do it. If I wanted to run the tarp basically all the way down the ceiling, or if I wanted to go across and deal with shorter pieces. So I think we're going to go with the shorter pieces. So now I got to get my 2x4s cut, get them cut into the strips that I'm going to use to go along the studs, and over here is the tarp. So I got the tarp, and then this is going to be my temporary holding stuff until I get it up. So let's go ahead and get started on this. Alright, so you just saw me cutting a bunch of these up. That's probably not going to be everything I need, but I got 15 of them cut. So these are 15 of them. They're just about half an inch. It's like 3/8 of an inch wide and 8 feet long. So these are actually made out of 2x3s, not 2x4s, because that's what I had. So that part's done. I got it all cleaned up, and I took the sawdust out to the compost pile already. Alright, so the next part I got to actually get done here is go through and take some measurements of up here. And as far as how long this is exactly across, it's about 17 feet, but that's not exact. And I want to find basically center, so that way when I cut my tarp that I got sitting here, I can actually cut that to a little bit longer than that, because this tarp is 14 feet wide by 48 feet long. And this room is only like 17 by 19, so I'm going to have plenty of excess. So I'm going to get the measuring and I'll be back. All right, so I was thinking about it, and with the way the ceiling's set up and the size of the room, the tarp is going to be really big. So I'm still trying to figure that out, because it's going to be, the room is actually 17 wide and then 19 long. And if the tarp is 14, that means either I'm going to have a little 3-foot section running all the way down along the side, or I'm going to have a 5-foot section at one end. So I'm still trying to figure out how I want to go about doing that. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is still going across, going this way with the tarp, and then that way I have smaller sections to deal with instead of trying to deal with a 20-foot long piece of the tarp. Alright, so I got all the lights down in here, and I do have a light on the camera here. And I have a little bitty work light over there, but that's what I have right now. So now I got to go ahead and start getting this measured and cut. So you can see I got the lights set up over here. These on the left are probably not going to go back up, because those are the ones that are creating the black bars in the screen. So I can utilize the light on the camera here. You can see I actually have this hooked up to a little power station here, so that way I can utilize this. So that way I still have plenty of light down here to work. Alright, it's kind of hard because I'm in the sun here, but I just wanted to show you an idea how big this tarp actually is. And you can see I do not have it rolled out all the way. I still probably have another 10 feet to roll out, but we're going to go ahead and get this cut up. But I'm just going to put you back inside, and I'll do this off camera. Alright, just want to get one last view of the undersides, that way I know where everything's at for future. So if I need to locate something for a future, I'll know where it's at and I have a reference to go off of. Hey, lesson learned. If you're going to do the same as I am, it might be beneficial and help out quite a bit if you actually pre-drill your holes before you cut your board into strips. So if I would have thought about this beforehand, I could have actually measured it out and cut my actual boards out, you know, drilled them through before you cut them into strips, and then I don't have to do it all individual, trying to fasten them all together to keep it all uniform, because we're trying to keep this, you know, looking good all the way across here. All right, I can't find a place to set up the camera to be able to show you this, so I'm gonna have to go ahead and get it started, and then I can get a spot for the camera, because for right now you can see I got the tarp laid out here, but this is folded over, so this tarp is going to be 20 feet long, so it's going to be dripping over everything, which means it would knock my camera over. So I almost did it once, but I'm not going to do it again. So as soon as I get it started, I'll be back. I'll explain what I'm going to do so that way you can kind of see it afterwards. But essentially what I did is I went through the room, and I have, you can see the marks down the center. That's the center of the room. So I have my 12-foot mark right here, I have my 6-foot there, and this tarp is 14 feet long. So being that it's 14 feet long, I actually have it folded in half. So you have to trust me, those edges are matched up. So that's the middle. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna get this middle lined up with my mark right here. And essentially what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fasten this on this side of it to begin with, and then drape everything that way. So hopefully it'll make more sense when you see it. All right, you can see here I got it started. And as far as the footprints, I'll get those cleaned off after I'm done. But you can also see up here in the corner where I stapled it, I put a piece of, it's actually cardboard, just cut off of a strip from like a 12 pack, you know, like this, just so that way I have something hard so the staples won't pull through this. So now you can see we got it up and kind of stretched all the way across. So now what we're gonna do is, since I know my center point, I'm gonna go for my center point and start working my way down the middle. Actually, I can probably get you on time lapse and you can kind of see the struggles and everything as we do this. So let me get you set up for that. All right, we got most of it up. You can see I got just the center part done, and next I'll go and do, you know, these sides, pushing it out. But for now, I'm gonna do this. I got one more to do to get it to the wall over here, and I'm gonna cut that off, and I'm gonna put like a trim at the bottom of that. Yeah, you'll see that later on. But for now, I'm gonna go take a break. All right, back down here today. It's been a few days now. I've been kind of doing other things. But now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start getting this stuff trimmed up. And you can see I got some temporary lighting set up. So we're gonna get started on trimming this up. Alright, so what I did is you saw me just tuck this whole thing up, get it up out of the way. Then I came back and actually marked it here so you can see where I'm gonna have to cut. So what I'm gonna do now is basically keep this distance from here to this bottom edge and just cut this all the way off to give me less to work with. And I also went ahead and put my lighting receptacle cover on. So now we're gonna get back and trim this all up. Got it all done up across here now. There is this pipe, so I still haven't decided. I may actually put a blank cover across the front of this from the cabinets up to just kind of hide that. But we'll see how in depth I want to get with it. But that's a possibility. But for right now, that side is basically done. Now we got to work on that side. Okay, see I got this back corner done, but I'm out of my strips. So really I need to go ahead and get some more of these cut. So what I gotta do is pull this back out and we'll get this cut. So I got 3 more here. The last 3 that I used, they actually gave me 15 strips. I actually went through and I just loosened this stuff. I just loosened the pegboard off the wall, tucked it behind it, and then re-screwed it fast to the wall. So that's how I'm going to finish the edge along here. Now when I get to this part, I got to do trim around the window, so I can just tuck it behind the window trim. So we'll put that behind the window trim there, and we'll do the same thing on the pegboard over on that side. But as far as this end, I'm going to leave that alone for now. You'll see later on what we're going to do with that. Alright, just want to show you that now, yes, you can see we did go ahead and get some of the lights put up. So I got those up, but I just got to wait to finish the rest before I can put any more on. Alright, don't really have a good way to show it, so I'm just going to show you after I'm done. But I am hanging the other tarp. You can see I got it stretched across and just staples. But this part here, I do have actually a board stapling this fast. And this is where actually the 2 tarps, if I can get up here and show you, this is the edge from where the tarp, this one goes the other way, and then this one's gonna be fastened here and come this way. So let me show you what the other side of this mess looks like. So this is how we look for right now. We got a big tarp hanging across. All right, just to give you a little update, we got this first rows here done. Little hindsight, I forgot to put the thing all the way across, which is why I ended up with this wrinkle here. But with having that be a little bit wider here, what we're going to end up doing is I think I'm just going to cut a strip that's just a little bit wider than these, so that way I have a little bit more leeway and I'll be able to cover it a little bit easier. So that's where we are for now. I got to cut more. As you can see, these are my strips. I got to cut more of them to make them look like that. Be back. Just realized the camera was not recording, but I went ahead and I got this boards up here. You can see I'm using those as trim and to hold it up there. So I got it going across, and that's where I stopped right now because I got to find where I put the rest of these boards. But I went ahead and trimmed up this edge. I still got to do a little piece in here, so we're going to go ahead and get that put in, But other than that, I think it's coming along pretty nice. What do you guys think? I just cut the last little piece in the corner you just saw. So that is now done. So this is going to get taken care of when I put the window front trim on. The same as over there, that window will get taken care of once I get to putting the trim around it. But right now what I got to do is actually fix up my edge going across here, and then we'll get the strip put on for that. All right, we have that all finished up, so that's all up there now. That's all finished. So I got that back behind the pegboard. We got the edge all the way down there. I trimmed that edge. Now what we got to do is finish here because it's a little dark in this side. So let me show you how I usually do mine. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our light plug into that one so we can see how it goes. Now, one thing I do have off the receptacle, I only have a string of 3 on each side. So those 3 are on one string. This one and the other 2 on this side are going to be on another string. So let's get this one up and I'll show you. Make sure it works. And now we're going to move out of the camera range. Now we're going to move over here. And you can see how we're going to do this. So this one's going to be here. This is in a straight line with the other ones going that way. So now I can see where my screw has to go here. Alright, that one's in. Just verifying my measurement. So now we want to bring it out. Put my dot. Put my next screw in. Now we grab the light. That side on, and that side on. Now the light's hung. Now we just got to take care of the cord. So what we're using to hold the wire to the ceiling, it's actually these little clamps. But they're actually designed for coax cable because they come with like a screw in them. You can see they're round, but I'm only putting one wire through it, so it's all going to work out okay. I'll show you how we do that. All right, so the first thing I do is I take my little clip, with no screw in it. I'm actually going to put it over the wire. Let me get it on, then I'll show you. All right, so you can see I got it around the wire. Now what we're going to do is we're going to actually end up putting the screw through the hole into the beam. So let me get that one done. So we're going to go across to here, but I don't have enough hands, so let me get this in. All right, you can see that the wire is being held in there, but it's not, it can actually move back and forth. So we have it going from here to this one, and then if need be, I can still turn the switch off in between. And I've done this for all of them. When there's extra slack, you can see I do the same thing, but I actually put a zip tie on top of this wire through, so that way I can bind it up and then zip tie it to there. All right, we got all the lights up. You can see now it's actually nice and bright in here. So I no longer have issues with not being able to see, and the flicker and the dark bands are gone from the camera. I figured out that it was actually the different shop lights that look like that were causing it. So we removed those, and got regular ones in here now. Hey, and if you could help me out by giving me a like or a thumbs up, it really helps us out. It'd be even more if you could actually hit the subscribe. That would really help us.